Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Why Did I Lose, the Prismata series where I analyze your games and tell you why I think you lost. Today's submission comes to us from Reddit, from TheOtterOne. Doesn't have any specific questions about this game, but notes that they are a tier 3 player at the time, at this moment. So, who knows? By the time we're watching this video, maybe master tier, huh? They sent the replay like 6 days ago. Anything could happen. Anyway, let's get started here with the MasterBot pregame. So as always, if you'd like, now's a good time to take a moment to pause the video and think about how you would play this set. Okay, welcome back. Well, now how would I play this set? Oof. I mean, it's kind of weird one, isn't it? Two things that sort of stand out to me are, like, there's a lot of cheap red stuff. Particularly Scorch is, good. It's like, I mean, what if you were to look at this set and say, what is the best attacker? Probably Scorch, right? Sentinel, I'm not really sure how well it combos with Scorch, because on the one hand, you're happy for it to be making engineers as like preemptive soak for your opponent's Scorch turns. But if you're trying to have a bunch of Scorches, you maybe don't want Sentinels cluttering up the place with like one attack per turn. You know, I mean, on the other hand, you're probably not syncing up Scorches super hard in this set, so maybe it's fine to have Sentinels. There's also Blood Pact, which is like excellent soak. So anyway, that's like the one thing that stands out to me is there's a lot of cheap red stuff. And some kind of Scorch, Immolite focused plans could be a thing we do. The other thing that stands out is like Xeno as the absorber in this set. And there's some good Xeno synergies here as well, right? Ferret and Sack, you don't even have to commit to a second blue. It's not necessarily such a big commitment to commit to a second blue, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And Xeno is also pretty good against some of the things in this set that look like they could be problems, right? Its Vigilance is good against Scorches and sort of Immolites. Well, is it? It's Vigilant, which is good against Ice Blades. That's the other thing I was looking at, is like, you know, at least you have like big chunky soak that also attacks. So is Xeno good against Ice Blade? I'm not actually sure. I have trouble with that one. But like, it's something you can accumulate on the Scorch off turns, is just add more Xenos, and you've got some soak that's done something. It's attacked for a while. When the Scorch turn comes around, and then you can defend with it. It also sort of like has the same property against Immolites, right? It's soak you can buy on the off turn and have it do something useful. And then like on the on turn, you can buy like a wall or two and a Blood Pact or something like that, right? Ice Blades are the other... Well, okay. Where does Sentinel fit into all of that? I think you'd probably be happy to get a Sentinel on some of the off turns as well, right? So like Xeno Sentinel accumulates a lot of soak while still gradually chipping your opponent down if they're trying to do some kind of Scorch thing, or Immolites or whatever. So like mostly Scorches as an attacker, and you could probably since you probably want Xeno anyway, at least one. With say maybe you don't get any blue and you get Ferretins, like 2 Ferretins to get a Xeno. That's probably a worthwhile investment even with Scorches, just because the absorb is useful. To have 3 absorb instead of like 1 from Rhinos. Anyway, so since you're getting a Xeno anyway, like having the Sentinels do a little bit of attack is maybe not such a big, like, you're not going to have totally synced up attack anyway, and so the Sentinel's extra attack will be more useful. Anyway, so that's like a thing you might do, is like mostly Xenos with some red stuff, or mostly Scorches with a Xeno. And the third thing that I see is Ice Blades, and this is one that I'm really bad at evaluating. If I had to pick one unit in Prismata that I understand least well, it would be Ice Blades. Like, I just don't get them. How to buy them, when to attack with them, when to bypass them to attack something. Well, okay, sorry. Obviously, you attack with them always because they always attack. But when to attack them, when to ignore them, it's all a big mystery to me. At least I'm okay with using them to freeze. But I feel like with Xeno, like, if you try for Ice Blades, it seems like you should lose to Xenos and Sentinels. With like maybe a Scorch or 2 to get you up to 6 attack more easily. I don't know. So, how realistic is it to deny Xeno Absorb with having primarily Scorches as your attackers? That's the interaction I'm most uncertain. Well, since I think that Xenos beat Ice Blades, although, as I recall, I don't understand Ice Blades very well. The interaction that I'm most interested in is whether Xenos win or lose to mostly Scorches. And that seems to come down to, like, can you sync up your attackers when you have Scorches, or are you going to be sad? I feel like the Xenos should win that just because you're accumulating a bunch of Soak. They're not as good as they would be if opponent were attacking every turn, but they're still, like, pretty okay. So given that, how much econ do you want? Like, do you get 3rd NG? I mean, I think you maybe don't get 3rd NG. This is a mistake I make a lot with Xenos, is like picking the wrong econ size because it's such a cheap attacker. Like, it's a very cheap way to spend tech, and I say, oh, I don't need that many drones. But it's also a big defender, which encourages drones. So I get this wrong sometimes. Do you want 2 blue, or do you want a single blue and Ferritons for Xenos or something? I think maybe you start with just 1 blue and like use a Ferriton to get your first Xeno, but you keep droning up while this is happening, and then you eventually grab a 2nd blue to let you spend your red on something else, on more attackers. And so, I don't know. I think this is probably worth a 3rd engineer. Especially because with Auric Impulse, you can, like, temporarily overdrone and then sell back a drone at some point, so that the energy is a little bit more flexible. I wouldn't be surprised to somehow lose the Scorches, though. But it seems like there's so much Soak and decent Absorb. You know, the only way you could beat this would be denying the Absorb with like a ton of Synced Scorches or a ton of Ice Blades, and I don't really think either of those does it, but maybe it does. I expect Masterbot to go DDC though. He tends to prefer like more aggressive lines, it seems to me. And he is better at more aggressive lines than at high econ approaches. Okay, so Scorches. Alright, now we're getting to about the number of drones that I want, and so I should really be thinking about whether any of my drones should be Oryx, so I can still sell them back if I want. Also, like, is Masterbot gonna buy like Scorches, Immolites next turn? If so, should I want to have a Blast Forge available? I think A, like, you shouldn't do that, and B, if you do get Immolites, like, oh well, I don't absorb, but I'm happy because you got Immolites. Right? The only thing I'm worried about here is Scorches. I'm pretty sure I can bat down any Immolite nonsense pretty comfortably. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Given so much, I don't think I need a Forge. A Conduit is fine. And the question is just, what am I doing next turn? BA? Maybe? Maybe even BB, if opponent actually gets the Scorches, so I can have a Xeno down in time. Given that, I don't have enough gold to buy 3 drones next turn, so I'm floating in energy. Therefore, I'll cut a drone and get an Auric instead to remain flexible. I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but basically, next turn, I can always buy a drone to cement this Auric Impulse if I want, because I'll have the spare, like, compared to this line, right? I could buy BBDD, say, as a candidate turn. Right? Yes, that is legal. But I'd be floating in energy, and I'd have 18 drones at the end of that. I can do this and buy BBDDD and be in exactly the same position. -1 Auric Impulse supply. So I prefer to do this because if I want to, I could choose to buy no drones next turn. Say, I don't know, BBA1. So this just makes me slightly more flexible for no cost, is why I'm grabbing the Auric here. It's not no cost, right? Like, if I'm confident that I'm not... Okay. If I thought there was some chance I would want to triple drone this turn, I wouldn't get this Auric. But I was quite sure I would not want to do that. So I think we're just going to do this. Now cementing this Auric Impulse into a real drone. But, you know, again, let's look around. What am I doing next turn? Probably Xeno, Animus. That's 11. Like, I'm buying those things for sure, right? And I only have $8 left after that, so I'm buying at most 2 drones. So I can make this an Auric. And then I could consider grabbing like a second Conduit or something in that universe, maybe. What a cute Immolite. It's gonna poke me for 1 and then sync up with the Scorch. No, it's not gonna sync with the Scorches. It's gonna be off sync. Okay, well, not as cute then. So, I feel like I'm over-droning here, but I mean, I guess that's sort of what Xeno is for, right? So this is like cementing the Auric, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want more Conduits. Like, there's so much green stuff I want here. Scorches, Barriers, Xenos, Sentinels. I kind of want a lot of all of those things. Next turn, opponent's going to be threatening, like, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe? I have... Well... 9's pretty unlikely, isn't it? Since this Immolite's going to be dead, but... They're going to be doing 6 plus a bit, so like 7 or 8. And they'll have done 1 here, so that's like the same as 8 or 9, right? I can handle 6 of the damage comfortably. 1 wall would be handling the rest. Or I could like Blood Pact Xeno and still have a ton of money left for what? Actually, oh yeah, the Blood Pact is really good against Scorches. I didn't think about that. It denies them the ability to sync attack. Ooh. Yeah, so like Blood Pact Xeno is a pretty cool turn coming up, and that's like spending all of my tech for $8. No, I still have a red and a left, plus of course some green. Blood Pact Xeno is a I'll have 12 left. Let's get a Sentinel with the remainder, because I'm already over the absorb barrier in that case, and I want soak, so that's 14, leaving me enough money for 2 drones. So we'll keep floating one. So every one of these Oryx I've bought has not actually gained me anything. So the ones I bought so far. Each of them I've cemented by buying at least 1 drone on the next turn. But they kept me flexible, right? And we're sort of winding down, notice. Fairly soon, I wouldn't be surprised to... Well, actually, yeah, 2 drones. I won't necessarily have... Since I might conceivably want to buy 2 drones after this line, right? And I'll only have 2 energy, so I should consider not getting the Auric here. In fact, I think I will do that, not get the Auric. I could... No, barrier's terrible here. Opponent will just hold the Immolite. Okay. Okay, he didn't even add any more attack. Well, fair enough. Let's get the Blood Pact anyway. Just because it's very cheap. I mean, I don't know. I could just grab a wall, right? Maybe that's better. The Blood Pact is cute for denying enemy absorb, but that doesn't apply next turn, right? It's actually going to attack. And then soon after that, it looks like Masterbot's going to have enough that the sinking is not an interesting property. And buying another Xeno right now is just not that important. So let's just get like this. Buy some okay attackers and... Sure. More Sentinels seem fine. Scorch is kind of a better Tarsier. And let's grab some more Soak. Try to buy Xeno every turn if possible to deal with these incoming Scorches. Not incoming exactly, but these eventual Scorches maybe, let's say. And now that we have Sentinel Engineers coming in, like, Oryx are kind of free, so I should almost never buy a drone. I would be surprised if I bought any more. It's late enough in the game that drones aren't great, and any drones you would buy are just better as Oryx pretty much every time now. Yikes, opponent holding Scorch to lose it on defense. That's gotta stink. Grab another Xeno. We just want to make it as easy as possible to defend the Scorches. More Sentinels, sure. Tarsier. I want some tech. And I don't think I want even more tech. I think just sort of droning is fine. Maybe I do want even more tech. I don't know. Ah! Choosing to be exploited instead of losing the DMO. Alright, fair enough. And notice how, like, our careful churning out of Xenos and Sentinels has made it very, very easy to defend, even with 4 Scorches coming in. What do we do to defend? I don't know. There's a lot of reasonable options. Let's just get a Blood Pact so I can keep buying Xenos, maybe, question mark. I don't know. Well, so if I could save all of my Xenos, that would be nice, but it's not exactly the highest priority. To do that, I would need to add 9 defense, which is like that. It's not the end of the world. So we have... the Sentinel's off duty, so we have an easy defense here. Just build more Xenos. Keep piling on attackers. But, I mean, Masterbot's still adding attackers, too. That's pretty cool for him. Now I don't need any defense at all. So let's just add a bunch of attackers, making sure to buy the ones that produce soak so that everything continues to be easy. We're probably over-defending, but it's fine. Like, I'm still getting the stuff I wanted to get. Alright, so now we can just, like, lose some Xenos and it's no big deal, if we want. Right now, we're getting to keep 5 health alive, which is 1 Xeno. A wall to keep another alive sounds nice, doesn't it? And we're losing 2 Xenos on this turn. That's sort of fine. Although, instead of a wall... The problem is, like... I was getting a wall, and then what do you do? Well, splitter, I guess, right? Actually... Iceblade could be pretty okay? This is the wrong turn for it, though, because opponent's just about to have a turn when they could deny absorb by clicking Iceblade. Right, just attack for like 6. It could be good to deny barriers, but this is the wrong turn for it. It should have been on a turn, like, just right on the turn when they were going to have Scorch clicks anyway. I don't know. Maybe you can't afford to get it on such a turn. So, instead of a wall, though, like, okay, right. Why didn't I like wall? Because you kind of need splitter. And then, like, you can't really get a Sentinel and spend your red, right? So, if you instead get a Blood Pact, which defends as well as a wall, suddenly you have, like, better tech to do the stuff you wanted to do. Oh man, Ice Blades are also great for Blood Pact. Oof. I should be, like, trying to do that somehow. Okay, so... Next turn is the ideal time to buy an Ice Blade, because that's when opponent has a bunch of attack coming, and also when we can freeze a Grimbotch with it. So, not this turn, but next. 3, 6, 9. So I need 1 extra defense to protect a Xeno. That seems fine. Okay, and now, if I can, I'd love to get an Ice Blade. 6, 9, okay, so and a wall is reasonably comfortable, so let's do that. Then, I don't know, more Sentinels. I can't get a Gauss Cannon if I get a Sentinel. Maybe a Scorch is just fine. There we go. Not even the tiniest bit of trouble defending. And it'll be easier still if opponent clicks the Ice Blade, right? So, I don't know, let's grab more Xenos, more Sentinels, Scorch. Let's get a Tarsier. I wouldn't mind saving a little green. Actually, I shouldn't be so What's the word I'm thinking of? Blithe, blasé, laissez-faire. Clearly something French. You might say so casual about like what I'm losing here. I'm just sort of ignoring Masterbot's attack, and I'm losing some Xenos. I don't think it's a big deal, but I should look, I guess. We're keeping 8 health alive. That's 2 Xenos. I don't really want to invest 4 into defense to keep more alive, so that's fine. If I could like keep one alive with a barrier, I would, right? But I only lost 1. Did Masterbot hold a bunch of attack? I don't think so. Ah, no, he clicked right. He clicked the Ice Blade. Got it. Sure. And now these botches are just great. We have enough defense that we're not losing anything here. So we'll just keep slamming in more attackers. Give up? No. I can't imagine why not, though. Like, this is resigning. Okay, let's just buy random anything, right? Now he has to give up. Okay. So, it's kind of... I'm glad the Masterbot went for Scorches, because I think it shows, like, what I had in mind when I was saying that Xenos and Sentinels will be good against that. He didn't, like, go solo Scorches, but I think it was, like, you just kind of can't. Anyway, I've noticed, by the way, these videos, why did I lose? I've been spending longer and longer on the Masterbot analyses ahead of time. I think that's probably okay, as long as I also devote a lot of time to watching your game. Like, it gives me a chance to explain a lot more than I usually do in a ladder game, right? What I'm thinking, why I think the play is gonna go that direction. But okay, let's get into the real game, why everyone is here, right? Okay, no third NG from either player. Which, like, is not what I did, but it's not totally crazy. You could, if you believe that this is like a Scorch set, I think you could maybe go like this and then get a Conduit next turn. Although, often in like very Scorch-oriented sets, player 1 would cut a drone for a Conduit on turn 2 to get the first set of Scorches. That's more for like very aggressive Scorch sets, where I feel this is a more defensive Scorch set because of like Blood Pact, Ferret, and Sentinel, perhaps Xeno. And so I think it's fine. If you're gonna go Scorches, don't cut here. What I don't agree with is this turn 3 DDA. Like, well, maybe you have some plan in mind with Ferretins and you just want to drone up more. And like you buy Ferretins to get your Xeno or something. Like if you next turn got like, I don't know, Ferretin, Tarsier, drone, I would not like totally disagree with that. But if you buy 2 attackers with this red, I will definitely disagree with the Animus. If you want to attack that, and then this turn it's like Conduit Animus or something. I don't know. Okay. So choosing to attack this turn. I mean, Conduit Animus is not like amazing because you can't get 2 Scorches. But yeah, you can get like Scorch Ferretin or something. Just like have access to some blue. Or Scorch Tarsier. Like, if you're getting attackers here, you kind of like are saying it's a relatively low econ game, in which case I think I would rather be getting going on the green, which is really valuable. Like, you're never going to be sad to have green. I don't know. Maybe it's not so great to float 2 gold to buy 1 conduit instead of 2 drones. We'll see. Yeah, okay, getting more conduits to be able to scorch more, I suppose. Notice though that like these Tarsiers we got first are rewarding opponent for going blue. I mean, we got the Tarsiers before they got blue, so it's not like we made a mistake, we reacted incorrectly. Rather, it's like we did something to which opponent has an easy, strong reaction available. Part of the value of Scorches is that you can buy attackers, and they give you eventual value while not giving your opponent Absorb for a while. If you get Tarsiers and then Scorches, you're missing a lot of the benefit. I was getting Scorches in the game and not denying Absorb with them, but that's just because they're like reasonably efficient. Very cheap ways to spend red and green. As a first attacker, they're particularly good. As a second attacker, they're just like, okay. So that's one reason I would have preferred to get Conduit Animus here, is you get to open with a Scorch and, say, a Ferritin or something. And then you can, like, drone as well. Yeah, Scorch Ferritin is 4, 2 drones is 10, and you have, like, 12, right? So that would be legal. Okay, so we're getting more Scorches, we're getting a wall, and I feel like we're going to have trouble defending opponents' first attackers, especially if they get, like, Immolites or something. Like, I think we neglected defense for too long. Okay, Splitter Rhino, sure. Yeah. I mean, Blood Pact sort of makes it... puts a band-aid on the problem. We can defend. But we had to... Wait, did we float red? No, okay. We had to make some pretty big concessions, and we're quite a bit down already in terms of how much attack we have. Right, we have like 7 attackers, if you include the ones with build time. An opponent has like 8, which doesn't sound like that big a difference. But they also have way more defense lying around. And more drones. So, plus this Rhino, which I didn't count. So, you know, they're quite a ways ahead, I think. I think you do need a Blood Pact, though, right? This is very non-granular. Opponent will find an exploit by holding Rhino or something. Yeah. No, you click the Scorch for sure. Anyway, I would definitely be getting a Blood Pact instead of this Rhino. I mean, I guess the Rhino's attacking. But instead of the 2 barriers, I would really like one, right? Because right now we... Well, you get a Blood Pact, 2 barriers, that's 5. You have $7 left. Yeah, we just have too much tech and not enough drones. Blood Pact, 2 barriers. You have $7, a red and a blue. Yeah, not really spendable. So let's see what opponent does to exploit this. Yeah, hold a Rhino. I don't know about holding the botch. Yeah, there you go. You Blood Pact so you don't have to hold the botch. And this isn't like technically an exploit. If we want, we can get full Absorb. But to do so, we have to lose a Rhino that's at full stamina. Right, that's why we needed granularity. Why Blood Pact was better than Rhino here. Is this looked like a Rhino that was going to attack, but it's actually a Rhino that the opponent can make a soak with. Yeah, we're having more granularity problems. Opponent will hold the botch but click the Rhino. Mm-hmm. The opponent's doing a good job with the exploits, by the way. But, you know, at this point the game's sort of over, right? We've lost the ability to build attackers, and opponent's building multiple attackers every turn. And we don't really have anything to compensate for it. It's not like our attack is better synced than opponent's is. We actually squeezed out some attackers here, but we're just far enough behind, it's not going to matter, right? Nothing very interesting happening, I think. Having to hold a Scorch to soak with is a big bummer. Especially when... Well, I don't know. Maybe opponent can't breach? Or are they just reminding us that we forgot to defend? I'm not sure. No, opponent can defend, no problem. Resign? Yeah. Okay, so in the late game it was sort of over, and so what I want to focus on is more the opening. We stopped at 12 drones, and when you stop buying drones to buy tech, like I'm not trying to say like, oh, you should always buy drones and not tech. Obviously that's silly. There's a point in any game where you have to like start buying tech instead of drones. But when you do that, you should be looking at, like, try to think about what you're going to spend the resources on. Not just next turn, but on like a prototypical normal turn. What are you going to spend GGBRR on every turn with 12 drones? Wall Scorch Scorch? Sure, that's only 11 drones. But that's really a very optimistic point of view, isn't it? Like, how long in this game are you going to be able to build Wall Scorch Scorch every turn? Assuming opponent has attackers, you're gonna have to be defending, and you won't be able to make use of all this tech. So I feel like if we want a forge, we needed to get more drones before getting all this tech. And the second conduit, I'm also not a fan. I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, it's sort of a... yeah. Maybe... Turn 5 is like... Or when did we get the... Here we go. Our turn 5. No, our turn 6. When we got the Blast Forge. Like, it seems bad because we have too much tech. But... we're gonna need a wall pretty soon. It kind of makes sense to want a Blast Forge here. I think the problem was on the earlier turns that put us in this position. Right? Turns 2 through 5 were the problem, and turns 6 and onward were kind of the symptom. So, like I said, turn 2, you could argue that this is not a third engineer set. Sure. I think you would be wrong, but maybe I am wrong. You know, Scorches, sure, it could happen, maybe. But if you're gonna do that, you have to be committing to less tech. And importantly, be getting green before red, because you don't want to be getting 2 Tarsiers and then Scorches and then a second conduit so you can keep buying Scorches. Like, Scorch isn't living its best life if you already have attackers every turn. It's still fine, but it's not like this amazing thing you should go out of your way to get. These conduits are a big investment in getting a lot of Scorches, and it's not really justified by the value Scorches are going to give. You could even convince me, like, DDC on turn 3 instead of DDA. Say, yeah, it's mostly a Scorch game, but I don't mind if opponent gets the Scorches first. I just want a little more econ. And then you get the Animus on turn 4, and then you're set up for like multiple Scorches, and you could try to do a like mostly Scorch thing. But red first into double conduit, low econ Scorches with Blast Forge. Like, I put a lot of words in there to emphasize that you're doing a lot of things, and you don't have enough enough drones to really justify that. So I think if you could try a Scorch line, as I said, but it would be one that's either higher econ with green first, or also lower econ with green first, I guess. Like, not red first. And the lower econ one, you would probably try to skip Blast Forge completely and defend with, like, Pact and Ferritin or something. Whereas in the higher econ one, you would get a Blast Forge and still be reasonably comfortable. But all of this requires that you not stop droning on turn 4. Sorry. The high econ one requires that. The low econ... I don't know. What am I saying? The point is just that, like, you can get DDC into DDA. Oh, right. And the low econ one is, like, CA on turn 3 or something into Scorch Ferritin. And then never get anything blue again. Just try to, like, get Scorch and a Conduit and a Ferritin. Yeah, like, let me just try to make this a little more concrete, what I had in mind. Something like this. This is what I envisioned the low econ line as looking like. Something like this. If you want to go aggressive with a shitload of Scorches and nothing else, this is the kind of opening I would be going for. And I probably also would have made this 10th drone an Oryx so I could sell it back someday, but okay, whatever. Actually, hang on. Was this Oryx correct? Maybe I'm wrong. We want to be getting 2 Scorches next turn. We have $6 left. Maybe we actually do turn it all into drones. Okay, fair enough. Opponent gets the Scorches and the Conduit and, like, I don't know, an Auric, whatever. We get 2 more of these. Next turn we want to get, like, Wall. Wall's a little early, but maybe it's a splitter or something, like a wall that threatens while lining up with our first Scorch. Sure. And then 2 more Scorches. So we're already, like, buying at most 1 drone and probably 0, so we could get away with this. I don't know. This was something like opponent's line, right? Third Conduit? I don't know. Maybe what I should be doing is get back to the Ferritin train and throw in a Gauss charge for extra damage. I don't know how good the extra damage is. We might actually... We're probably holding the Scorch, right? Now I sort of regret getting these Oryx. But, you know, something like this, where you have little enough tech and few enough drones that you can kind of plausibly just buy Scorches as your only attacker. then the low econ approach kind of makes some sense. And you can use Ferritin to sneak out a blue thing. And having 2 conduits and an Animus is totally, like, not a problem. And you get the advantage that, like, you're the first one attacking with Scorches. There's some cool things you get in that line, which you don't get if this conduit is 2 drones. You're kind of stuck buying a Tarsier that you don't really want, and it's hard to, like, get the amount of green you want. So that would be kind of the more aggressive approach that you could consider. The slower approach, if you don't want to go all the way to 3rd NG, would be something like this. You say, go ahead and get first Scorch, opponent. I don't mind. I'm just going to get Scorches with a little bit more econ. Do you want this yet? Maybe you just keep droning? I don't think opponent went up to 15. Last word is probably fine, even if you just get a splitter with it. It's like, alright. Yeah, it syncs with these Scorches as well. Oh yeah, opponent got like Splitter Rhino or something on that turn, right? So now we can keep buying Scorches. And actually we're having a little trouble defending in this line, aren't we? Well, we want a Forge. And opponent's going to be threatening like 7, maybe 8, maybe even 9 damage. So a wall is 2, NGs is 4. And we're going to want like several more damage, and that's like, I don't know, Blood Pact Barrier or Blood Pact Force Field or something. So this 3rd conduit seems pretty okay. Now, again, I'm not really following in great detail what opponent is doing. I'm just trying to make it kind of like what they did in the game. So it's not a perfectly high fidelity reproduction, but I don't know, something like this maybe. And now it's like not such an imposition for us to defend because we have a little more econ. I could maybe have considered on this turn, or on the previous turn, like getting NGs instead of this conduit, but I don't think so. I think the conduit was nice. You're gonna want green. What's opponent do now? Well, they get a wall. They could get a couple barriers. Or a force field. Barriers would be bad because we would just hold our Scorches, I think. It's already like kind of okay to hold 2 Scorches. If they get any barriers at all, they're giving us value on them. So, I don't know. We have a lot of green. Let's say a force field. And that lets us continue buying Scorches. Although maybe Sentinel is better? I don't know. This lets us keep the Auric and buy an empty. Wow, they're attacking for 9 again, huh? That's a bummer. Is this too much? Yeah, they won't swing if we do this. Against this, they probably should swing, though. And then we can get another Scorch, more NGs. And, like, it's definitely not comfortable, but it's not really that comfortable for opponent either, right? And we're in the position of being able to hold Scorches to deny Absorb if we want. Opponent kind of got like some other attackers that are making it a bit harder for them to do that. You know, do you get a barrier here? I think opponent would be okay, we, that is, would be okay holding 2 Scorches and a Sentinel to deny 3 Absorb. Maybe not. Maybe this barrier is fine since we kind of want to click anyway. It's a tough call. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten the Sentinel. But just keeping the pressure on opponent who's the low econ player, I like. And we're using Sentinel to kind of extend our advantage in terms of how much... Oh, we should really try to get an Ice Blade here. Yeah, maybe this. Now their botch is not getting value. So they click it, of course. I don't know. This Ice Blade's gonna have a tough time also, I guess. This way they lose NG Wall. This way they can still lose NG Wall. The Ice Blade doesn't freeze anything. Feels like a kind of dumb Ice Blade, huh? I don't know, does opponent kill Ice Blade? Probably not. But we're threatening kind of a lot here, right? This defends. It's not very pleasant. Maybe we don't go quite so hard on the blood packs. Can we do it with barriers? Well, we don't want to because of the Ice Blade. I don't know. I don't like that I'm not getting any use out of my green anymore. Got him. It's denying a little granularity, so sure. I don't know. Is this really that great? Sure it is, right? Just give me all the barriers. Opponent is not going to... Well, actually, they could kill an Ice Blade. Yeah, I probably shouldn't get that many barriers. Maybe even one's a bit much, and I should just get 2 pacts and a Gauss Cannon. Yeah, this is what opponent wants to do. Well, even if they do that, they kind of should be clicking Scorches anyway, so maybe killing the Ice Blade's not that amazing. But they're going to want to use these Scorches next turn, so I think they do kill the Ice Blade. No. They kill it next turn when they hold the Scorches back. Or the Grim Botches, not Scorches. But see, like, opponent can't really make use of that green anymore. We can't make use of ours either, but at least we bought a Gauss Cannon, right? That's pretty cool. And we're still, like, adding attackers, which it feels like opponent is not doing. Really? They still can't kill the Ice Blade? Without clicking a Scorch? So I don't know, what, you click a Scorch. Hold Immolite and another Botch? And a Scorch? It's a weird one. I think you actually just click everything. And you also click the Ice Blade because it frees up your Botches to defend, but... Although actually, this turn we're not going to attack. This is the turn when we hold things back, so maybe they don't even care about the Ice Blade? I don't know, kind of weird. But okay, opponent gets a turn to like do some cool stuff. You see what I mean? Like almost nothing we could attack with does anything. So yeah, this is defended, so we don't need to worry about losing any of them on defense. And I can just hold the Botches back as well. Like I don't know. Another Ice Blade is fine. Another Sentinel. Threaten a lot. I've definitely made some mistakes for both players in this analysis. But it just sort of seemed like, you know, this is... What did this develop out of? Out of taking the slower route of DDC into DDA? Yeah. And, you know, are we winning here? Maybe. Opponent's pretty unhappy at the moment, I think. Actually, we can probably just attack for exact against all this stuff. We have 12... 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I would be holding Scorches against all this, so... Like, we could attack for as much as 10 and give opponent 0 absorb, right? Or... If we could somehow arrange to attack for 6, we'd be exploiting the Botches and the wall. If we attack for more than 12, we're killing something. So I don't think it's worth paying 6 attack to, or 7 attack to kill an engineer, right? Which is basically what we'd be doing. Well, I mean, we're freezing one of the Botches. Maybe we'd click stuff, but... Yeah, we don't click 3 Scorches to like kill almost nothing, right? So we hold back the Botch and offer to lose it. Get more Ice Blades, more Scorches and a Defender. Oh, I guess I forgot. This line accidentally loses some Scorches. I just noticed I wasn't getting breached and forgot what to do about that. So, okay, maybe I should have bought some more defense instead of this second Ice Blade. This Ice Blade's actually not all that great, but like, look at how opponent must feel, right? Like, oh my god. You kind of want to be killing an Ice Blade just to avoid that kind of strife. So, I don't know. Someone at some point should have been getting Ferret and Sacks to grab a Xeno, I'm quite certain. Really? That's a very curious defense cue. Huh. And I mean, pretty easy defense here. Grab another sentinel. We have way too much green, so this is a strong signal to me that my third conduit was a bad idea. I've just been floating green every turn since, like, the one turn I got whatever it was I got with it. Oh, this turn, when I got Scorch, Sentinel, Barrier, Force Field. Ever since then, I've been floating, like, a lot of green. And so the third conduit was clearly a mistake. If that had been invested in a drone, we'd be in a substantially better position. But okay, I don't know, maybe this is a defense. Opponent does this for sure. And now is a good time for an Ice Blade because of this botch. Can't really buy much else. The red's all going to waste. Maybe this Ferritin was a bad idea. I don't feel great about clicking these sentinels. 2 sentinel clicks to kill 1 NG, but it gives us 2 NGs. It seems okay. Yeah, I think it's sort of optimistic for opponent to get a Xeno here. Maybe they could try. Like this. But we exploit the barrier pretty hard, and then keep adding more stuff. And this sentinel advantage, this econ advantage, we've been slowly squeezing out like just a little more stuff because it's not so hard for us to defend. Even though opponent has often attacked for more, our turns are easier because we have the right defensive tech and enough drones. We have enough drones to buy defense basically as well as attack. If I had somehow worked in a Xeno, which I'm sure I should have, it would be better still. Wow, blood pacts are gone. Exciting. But it's pretty tough to defend all this on just 8 drones, isn't it? Something like this. Barely defends. Take that. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten the Ice Blade. I don't know. It made opponent click the botch when they would have preferred to hold it. Oh yeah, I can't buy any more blood pacts. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. I'm gonna have to be shift F-ing here. Probably. Well, maybe I spoke too soon when I said we were doing well. Opponent might kill this, just to give this botch value, and then we're not in such dire straits. Ooh. Okay, yeah, but what's... I don't know, Shift F? I guess that does it. There. Who makes it to their Scorch Wave next? probably us, right? We're out of walls and out of barriers. Or not barriers. Blood pacts. So it's going to be a little bit touchy, but we still have one more Shift F left in us, and opponent doesn't. On the other hand, we do have to survive the two. Well, probably Shift E at this point, right? Opponent can click Immo and Scorch to kill 2 NGs. I guess that's fine. They should probably do that. And then they just get an NG here. Maybe they Auric? No, NG. We hold this back by a lot of barriers. Actually, I think we just hold against this. We don't even click the Scorch, we just lose it. Save up for the big sink and then go in. This defends all the Scorches. And then we're in for roughly everything. If opponent wants to deny absorb here by holding, or deny the barrier value by holding everything, I don't mind. Like, we don't get in for a lot, actually. It still seems sort of close. Oh, we have a barrier left. Why didn't I get that last turn? Did it matter? I guess not. Oh yeah, we have the Scorch we absorbed on. What a bummer. Opponent actually maybe holds this to get absorbed. Sure. And I don't know, are we still losing? I don't think so. I think we're winning here. The opponent can... Yeah, we win this. Gauss Cannon's OP. Opponent gets to click the Scorch one last time, but we're in with enough attack to finish things off. So, anyway, definitely some blunders in this analysis by me, but... In particular, that third conduit. But I hope that that provides, like, 3 approaches that you could take to the set, right? Well, the one I took against Masterbot with like a bunch of Xenos and Sentinels and stuff. The kind of higher econ line we looked at now with DDC into DDA. And I looked at least some, I don't remember how far I got into the like turn 3 CA line. I think that those are all things you might try. I don't know for sure which one of them is better. But I'm pretty sure they're all better than DDA. Where we just sort of like ran out of drones to do anything good, had too much tech and not enough anything else. Okay, good. And I did actually spend longer on the game than on my Masterbot practice session, so that's good anyway. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.